You know, flies are really annoying. You get 1 or 2 in from the outside and then they buzz around for the next 30 days or so. They might be good for cleaning up rotting waste, but then their eggs hatch and even more of them start going around. No, great. Come on, get. Uh-oh. Come on. No. Nope. This is impossible. How am I supposed to get rid of all of these flies? They're so small, and my hand covers the screen so I can't even see what's happening half of the time. I'm going to write a program that'll swat the flies for me. I call it the Auto Swat Deluxe. There are a few different ways I can implement this. The most obvious place to start is image recognition. If I put together screenshots of the different flies, I can let the computer find them and swat. It'll iterate through each image and get the exact coordinates on the screen where to tap.
Oh, it's working. It's a little bit slow, but I'm really surprised that it works.
But this isn't fast enough to finish within the time limit. It's a start. The next thing to do is optimization. If I crop down the images, there will be less data for the computer to parse. I think it was getting caught up on the alpha transparency too. Also, if I convert the color space to grayscale, the image has 2 fewer channels to calculate, making the computer perform a little bit faster. Oh, and the hand cursor is covering up the screen. I'll switch that to a smaller one. Nice! It beat level 1. Level 2 doesn't work so well. Image recognition, while it can be accurate, is slow to actually hit the flies. The computer has to parse through every pixel in the image, with a few images being over 1,000 pixels. Then, it scans a screenshot of the game scene to find these specific pixels in that arrangement. Only after all that completes does the swatter tap on the fly. My implementation loops through each image in sequential order, so with more fly pictures, it slows down. Instead of image recognition, I could implement something simpler: color recognition. By giving a single RGB value from a fly, the computer can identify if the color exists on the screen and swat it. Grayscale isn't helpful in this scenario, so I'm losing a little bit of performance by disabling it. I'll also need to swat the first few flies manually, since the editor has a lot of color information in it already. It needs some tweaking. Adjusting the RGB values a bit, it isn't so bad. The auto swat can clear level 1. Level 2 is where things get a bit more complicated. Just like the real deal, fly parents spawn a lot of children. If the swatter can hit the parent before the fly children come out, that's great, but that isn't always what happens. Okay, new idea. Image recognition was accurate, but slow, especially with multiple images. Color recognition is a bit faster, but doesn't always hit the targets quite right. The next best implementation would likely be motion detection. The flies are the only thing moving around, while the background remains static. If I can track the difference between frames, I can make the swatter tap directly on the flies. I can take a screenshot of the scene, then subtract the difference in the next frame. With that, I can track motion. I'll also crop out Undo Dog and the timer, since their motion isn't needed. I can generate a contour on everything that moves, find its center, and iterate through everything found on each frame. It gets pretty far into the second level, but can be a bit sporadic when too many flies are on the screen. Actually, I can optimize this more. The capture I'm giving the computer is cropped from 1080p. That's about 1.4 million pixels being processed on each iteration. The Wii U gamepad, where the game is completely visible, renders at 480p. I can cut down the amount of pixels processed to about 270,000 at that resolution. Sometimes it still lags behind. Turns out the computer is making way too many outlines. There is no way it could possibly click everything in time. At certain points, there are 50 outlines per frame. Accurate or not, I don't think there's a high enough polling rate to make 50 presses and 50 releases within 60 frames. And holding down on the screen won't get rid of the flies, so a release is required. To remedy the lag, I made a loop that would only execute the first 5 outlines per frame, with anything out of bounds exiting and restarting the loop. Normal mode complete.
Let's go.
For hard difficulty, all I really need to change is the background, which is purple now. Okay, back to optimization. I'll stick with motion detection since it seems to be the fastest option. But the program is getting stuck on the swatter and is hitting itself. It wasn't too much of a problem before, but I need the accuracy now. By adjusting the range of outlines that are hit, from 5 to something higher, there's less of a chance to get caught on the first few that were found. I was able to get through level 1, but throwing in higher numbers doesn't seem to be the solution. Level 2, again, was the biggest struggle point because of the fly parents. At this point, I'll try any new ideas. I'll let RNG take the reins to randomly select an outline within a range of 15. This way, the computer will swap one contour per loop and analyze new frames more often. The old implementation would look at one frame and hit each position found from that single frame, all the while game time was advancing and flies were still moving around. When the computer is told to hit 5 positions, it's stuck using those exact 5 spots, with higher numbers adding even more latency. By using RNG, one of 15 outlines is selected in one frame, and the program immediately loops to find a new outline on a new frame. This increases the accuracy by precious milliseconds, making sure the computer can have a better response time to fly movement. To level 3. No, time. Got one. No. The time. Oh, get it. I've never been this far. With 1 second left, there's no... On the first try, not only did the RNG approach beat level 2, it cleared the final level. After all of these years, I finally got the Fighterfly Mystery Mushroom. This code does not consistently work, and the success rate is extremely low. I could have tried making calculations to prioritize bigger flies, or alternate between quarters of the screen, which might take away from the speed, but that doesn't matter anymore. I finally did it. I got rid of all the flies and have a reward to show for it. Now, I can make a fighter fly themed level and share it to the world. Right. Oh, great. Fly Day.